And now we switch gears. All right, we'll come back into the studio and continue our conversation for earlier on inside the 8 o'clock hour. And it's about the 300% pay rise or raise for CJN, the CJN and judiciary workers, the wages as the Senate moves to pass a bill or sanct a bill that would see a 300% wages increase for the CJN and also for the judicial workers as well.
Now, joining us inside the studio is Francis Chilaka. He is a social commentator and also a legal practitioner. You are welcome. Oh, no. My apologies, sir. But welcome, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Sir, earlier we had a very interesting conversation, you and I. You're already laughing, but I'm going to ask you exactly what I asked. I had asked him to please don't say anything. Let's get on before he mentions it. And I asked you, what exactly is your stance on this? And the response you gave was?
Height of corruption.
Chai.
That's just what it is.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said anything.
No, but that's what it is. I don't know how to put it. I don't know how insensitive governance has become in this country. I don't know how we view the people. Those in power forget that sovereignty belongs to the people. And when you treat the people less as humans, you are really, really bastardizing their lives. You can't be increasing one sector and leaving out another sector that really touches the ordinary Nigerians. It doesn't add up. It simply means that this government is insensitive, this government is totally and completely corrupt, this government is doing what I would call favoritism, because obviously they believe they will benefit more from the judiciary than they would benefit from labor.
So you believe that this move would have a huge impact on President Bola Tinubu's administration and the ruling party at large?
They are beneficiaries of the judiciary, the madness, the cluelessness in the judiciary. This government is a beneficiary. And as such, I believe that whatever they're doing right now, when the cost of living, when Nigerians can't even afford 3 square meal a day. Now we're even talking of 1 square meal, 1 meal, not even 3, but we're talking of 1 meal, 1 healthy meal when Nigerians can't afford it, and you're not doing anything to alleviate the suffering of the ordinary Nigerians. And then Labour is saying to you, we can't bear this anymore. Do something about it, and you're just adding, each time you sit with Labour, you just drop
2 naira.
2 naira, 3 naira, as if those in the labor market are useless and they have nothing to contribute. And then you wake up on the other side, you're increasing another sector's salary by 300. What on earth are you trying to prove? What are you trying to tell every other person? What? So I don't know how they go to sleep at night, and I don't know how they wake up, But something needs to be done. The way this country is going, we all need to come out and, take back our country.
Our last guest made a case for a salary increment for the judicial workers and even the CJN at large. And he was saying that, that the last increment was from 2007, hopefully I don't misquote him there, and that he was saying that it was necessary given the inflationary economy that we find ourselves and that times as increasingly changed. Do you think that he has a case there?
Well, if from what he's saying, if he's saying that time has overtaken a lot of events, but what we should ask ourselves now is, in doing this, how does it add to the livelihood of the ordinary Nigerian out there? You find somebody who is already earning about maybe 1 million naira minimum a month, and you're adding 300% to that. Then somebody that is earning 30,000 is asking you, knowing that we all go to the same market. You can't go to a filling station to buy petrol and you say, oh, I'm APC, I'm Igbo, I'm Yoruba, I'm a Christian, I'm a judiciary, I'm a Labour. You can't do that. We all go to the same market. Right now a bag of rice is going for 80,000 naira. And you're paying a man who has a wife, maybe 3 kids and himself. That's a family of 5. You're paying them 30,000 naira a month. And you're saying, okay, I'm going to increase it to 60,000 naira a month, or 62,000 naira, or even 61.5 a month. The question you should be asking yourself is, how do you want them to survive? You've not talked about house rent. You've not talked about their children's school fees. You've not talked about going to the hospital. You've not talked about even the electricity bill that has gone up. So how do you want people to survive? And then somebody that is already earning 1 million, you're adding another maybe about 300 or 400 or even 500 to his, or even another million to his own salary. And you feel that the other man that is taking 30,000 should continue to take it.
Mr. Francis, do you think that the efforts of the NLC and the TUC are misplaced? Do you think that going after or picketing or striking over the issue of the minimum wage is the wrong move? Perhaps maybe they should be refocusing on these legislative office holders and perhaps asking for their salaries to be brought down, or even redirected to the common man? Because our last guest told us of Lagos, for instance, having about 100 legislative offices and it not even still being enough. Now, with that increase, if they were to take all of that amount and redirect it to the common man, perhaps maybe that should be the fight that they're fighting instead of asking for an increase to the new minimum wage.
Well, I think I would say this, that in as much as I support Labour, I think Labour did not do their homework well, in the sense that the first thing Labour should have actually asked for, they should actually be speaking about and demanding, is that, one, we reduce the cost of governance drastically. It's very important. Two, they should be asking for, how much are the honorable members earning? How much are the senators earning? How much are the governors earning? How much are their aides earning? Put all that side by side. And then you face another aspect of it, which is, how do we bring down the cost of living in terms of food items? Now, by the time you follow all of this, you'll find out that a lot will be achieved. So even when you're paying somebody 60,000 naira, you know that, okay, Gary is about maybe 500 naira per pint. It makes a lot of sense. But now Gary is about 4,500 per pint. So yes, I think Labour was more focused on salary increment rather than looking at the indices of how that salary becomes reasonable to them when it is paid. I tell you this, even if you pay Labour 250,000 naira, with the current situation, it will not make any difference. It will not. So I think what government should be looking at is to say, okay, we're going to pay you 60,000, but we're going to cut down on taxes. We're going to cut down on since there's a war between government and government, who is paying subsidy and who is not paying subsidy. But I think it is high time the subsidy regime, which was thrown out unceremoniously without planning, is what plugged us into what we are today. I think government should readdress that. There's nothing wrong with going back when you make a mistake. A mistake has been made, and that mistake is that, Mr. President, on the 29th of May 2023, committed a blunder. He dragged Nigerians by the ear, by the nose, by the throat, and he hung Nigerians without thinking of the effect of that statement he made. Subsidy is gone. I think it's also time for him to go back to the drawing board and find a solution to that subsidy is gone.
I mean, we understand that Wale Edu and the other steering committee had now bought the blueprint for him, or a template for him to redirecting the economy back to some sort of stabilizing the economy. There we go. That's the word. But I mean, to redirect our conversation back on, CJ and here, there's been talks about how clogged the system is, the judicial system is. In terms of priority, is this increment priority, or should the focus for the legislature and the executive arm lie in decluttering and just making sure the judicial system is as smooth as can be?
Well, the thing is, first of all, let us be very honest with ourselves. This increment is a total disaster. I keep saying it. It's the height of corruption. There's nothing else you can say about it. We also need to understand that the executive is holding everybody to ransom. Don't forget, we have the executive, we have the legislature, and we have the judiciary. These are three arms of government that should function independently. But that is not what is happening. And that's why I keep asking myself, what kind of democracy are we practicing in Nigeria? We claim we have copied from American democracy, but the kind of democracy we are practicing doesn't make sense. It doesn't add value. People's lives are not improved upon. There are no development, insecurities all over the place. So I think that the first thing government should have done is to say, okay, how do we unburden these other arms of government? Let them function on their own. Let them generate their own revenue. Let them fix their salaries the way they want. That will be a good status for us to have a sane society. But a society where you have the president, that's the executive, will decide the salary of the legislatures, the salary of the judiciary, then what kind of democracy are we running?
Real quick, sir, before we end and we are running out of time, I wanted to take you back to one of the first comments that you made regarding the government, the executive, judiciary, and also the legislative being direct beneficiaries of this bill. What exactly did you mean in clear terms, in practical terms too?
In practical terms, we all saw it on TV when Bukachua made a comment that some of his colleagues are beneficiaries of the judiciary when the wife was the appeal court. So what has come out of it? Who investigated it? Who got punished? We run a society where people don't get punished for offenses. And that is why we are where we are today. That is why you can see somebody can steal 10 billion and is negotiating. Oh, I can give you back 2 billion. And when it comes, everybody is rushing around him. So we need to have that situation where if you benefit, in a corrupt way from a system, the system immediately should punish you. But when you have a system that, well, I think a few days back, former President Jonathan said something about the judiciary and about the political class, that if people know they will not benefit, from the judiciary, they won't be going to court after elections. Our political life has been monetized to the highest bidder. And until we change that, people who have ideas, people who have vision will not go into Nigerian politics.
It makes me want to ask who exactly are in our prisons? If we're saying that these individuals are beneficiaries, so who are we going after when it comes to corruption? Who are we going after when it comes to finding out why or who is causing Nigeria's problems? Who are in our prisons? Who are they ruling over and saying, okay, you go to jail or you don't?
Government. Everything boils down to government. You have EFCC, you have ICPC. What are they doing? Where is Yaya Bello? What has become of his case?
I totally forgot about that. I actually totally forgot about that.
Yeah, well, he's still on the run.
Where's Better Edu?
2 weeks or 2 months?
Wow.
So these are things that are worrisome to every one of us. If you've not noticed, you'll find out if you have a friend who just goes into politics, just an ordinary chairman of a local or a councillor, give him 2 months. You will see him changing his car, buying houses and all. Where is it coming from? This country is richly blessed with mineral, human resources and everything. But why is it that it's not filtering down to the ordinary people? Maybe you should take a walk to a supermarket these days and you're walking. As you're coming out, you see the number of people standing outside asking you to give them money or asking you to buy food for them. It has gotten to that level. So where are our leaders? Are they pretending that they're not seeing the suffering the people are going through? This is a time where Mr. President should actually say, I, President Bola Tinubu, I'm cutting my salary by 60% and I'm doing the same across board. Then you will now see that the country would... let me put it this way. If the senators, the honorable members, the governors are subjected to receiving the kind of salary labor is receiving, a lot of people will not go into politics.
Very true. Very, very true.
Wow.
So Francis Chilaka, I want to say a very big thank you for joining us live inside of the studio to actually have this conversation, and your robust view on it has been very, very well appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you
You're welcome.
indeed.